In Blues Piano Tutorial Part 1, we learn this right hand riff. We also learn this right hand lick. Along with this bass line. In Blues Piano Tutorial Part 2, we learn this right hand lick. In Blues Piano Tutorial Part 3, we learn this right hand riff. Along with this right hand lick. Another riff, or another right hand riff that you can use with this bass line, or any other for that matter, is this. Okay, so what I'm doing there is I'm starting with the note C, then I'm going to play D and B flat, then I'm going to play C and A, then I'm going to play the note E flat, D, C, G, F and C together, E flat and C together. While holding down C, I'm going to slide from E flat into E, and then I'm going to finish with the note C. So again, the notes for this right hand riff are C, D and B flat, C and A, E flat, D, C, G, F and C together, E flat and C together. While holding down C, slide up from E flat to E, and then end with C. The fingers you can use, you could use the little finger to play C, then I like to use the thumb and the ring finger to play D and B flat. I like to use the thumb and little finger to play C and A. Then I like to play the E flat with the ring finger, D with the middle finger, C with the index finger, G with the thumb, then F and C with the index finger and little finger, E flat and C with the index and little finger. Then while holding down C, I'll slide up from E flat with the index finger to play E, and then end with C with the thumb. So again, the fingers you can use for this riff are the little finger on C, then the thumb and the ring finger for D and B flat, the thumb and the little finger for C and A, the ring finger for E flat, middle finger for D, index finger for C, the thumb for G, then the index finger and little finger for F and C, the index finger and little finger for E flat and C, hold C down with the little finger, slide up from E flat with the index finger to play E, then end with C with the thumb. To counter this riff, you could count it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. So what you want to make sure is that you start the riff on the and of beat 1, so 1 and then you also want to make sure you play this G on the and of beat 3. So again, start the riff on the and of beat 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and make sure you play this G on the and of beat 3. So altogether, the riff sounds like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Another variation of this riff sounds like this. Okay, so what I'm doing there is you start the riff as normal, Then when you get to E flat and C, instead of sliding into E and finishing on C, when you get to E flat and C, what you want to do is you want to play F sharp into G. So what you're doing is you're playing F sharp and G, and you want it to sound like this. And the fingers I'm using the index finger to play F, then I'm using the middle finger to play F sharp, and I'm also using the middle finger to slide from F sharp into the G. At the same time, I also like to add the note C above this F. So when you play F, you'll want to play the C above it with the little finger. So you play F and C, and you quickly slide from the F sharp into the G, while holding down the C with the little finger. So you end up with this sound. And then, as we did with the first variation, you end with the C. So the second variation sounds like this. And you count to both variations exactly the same. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and the second variation 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Another thing you can do is instead of playing either variation just once, you can play either variation twice down the piano. In fact, you can play it all the way down the piano as many times as you like. To do this, however, you need to leave out the C at the end of the riff, because the C at the end of the riff lands on the end of beat 1, and that's where you want to start the riff. So what you do is you start the riff 1, so I'll start with variation 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Then instead of playing the C at the end with the thumb, you want to start the riff again within the same octave. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and you can finish with the C with the thumb at the end of the riff if you're not going to carry on the riff. So the second variation, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and if you wanted to do it all the way down the piano, you could do it like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Okay, so what we're going to do now is put it to the left hand. So when you start the left hand, again, remember you want to start the riff on the end of beat 1. So the first C will be on its own. So 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Same with the second variation, would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. And what you can do is you can mix up both variations as well as playing a riff twice or more times down the piano with this left hand pattern. And it can work with most blues patterns in the left hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through the 12-bar blues form with this bass line. And what I'm going to do is when I play C, I'm going to play variation 1 in the right hand. When I play F in the left hand, I'm going to play variation 2 in the right hand. And then when I get to bar 9, when we start with D in the left hand and we walk up and then back down, I'm going to play the riff twice using variation 1 in the right hand. So it would sound like this. So that's variation 1, and again. Now I'm going to play variation 2. And then back to variation 1. Now I'm going to play the riff twice in the right hand. And like I said before, if you want to, you can just simply play the riff going down the piano as many times you like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to demonstrate with the same left hand, and I'm going to play throughout the 12-bar blues form, and I'm going to play the right hand riff twice throughout. So it would sound like this. And then again for F with the second variation. And then the variation 1 over D. So what I'll do now is I'll play through the 12-bar blues form twice, and the first time round I'll play each riff once until I get to bar 9. So I'll play variation 1 over C, variation 2 over F, and then I'll play it twice from the 9th bar, which is when we get to D. And then the second time round I'll play the right hand riff twice throughout the 12-bar blues form. So it's no mystery as well, at the end sometimes I just like to repeat the C a few times in the right hand. So for instance, if you find that you're having trouble playing this right hand riff, if you want to simplify it slightly, what you can do is, instead of playing the D and C when you come down, so what you can do is you can leave out the D and C, so you get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and, or you could play for the second variation 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and again if you're playing it twice down the piano you can play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. That's what I would recommend if you want to practice the riff with the left hand before you play the embellished version. So again, before we finish, it's really important to remember that you want to start the riff on the end of beat 1, so 1 and then also you want to play this G on the end of beat 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and.